War. It has shaped the course of human history, leaving behind scars that linger for generations. From ancient empires to modern nations, humanity's thirst for power, resources, or ideology has led to some of the most devastating conflicts ever witnessed. Today, we will explore the most catastrophic wars in human history and what lessons they have taught us about peace, resilience, and the cost of conflict. Our journey begins over 2 millennia ago with the Peloponnesian War, a brutal struggle between Athens and Sparta that lasted from 431 to 404 BCE. This was not just a clash of armies, but a collision of ideologies: democratic Athens versus militaristic Sparta. For nearly 3 decades, these city-states tore each other apart, weakening Greece so profoundly that it never regained its former glory. The lesson: internal division can destroy even the mightiest civilizations. As Thucydides wrote, "The strong do what they can, and the weak suffer what they must." But perhaps the greater takeaway is this: unchecked ambition leads to ruin, for both victors and vanquished alike. Fast forward to the 13th century, when the Mongol Empire swept across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East like a storm. Under Genghis Khan and his successors, the Mongols created the largest contiguous land empire in history, but at an unimaginable cost. Entire cities were razed, populations decimated, and cultures erased. Some estimates suggest that up to 40 million people died during their campaigns. Yet, amidst the devastation came unexpected benefits. The Pax Mongolica, the Mongol peace, facilitated trade along the Silk Road, spreading ideas, technologies, and goods across continents. Here lies a paradox of war. Destruction often paves the way for innovation and connection. But at what price? In the early 17th century, Europe descended into chaos during the 30 Years' War. Sparked by religious tensions between Catholics and Protestants, this conflict engulfed much of Central Europe from 1618 to 1648. By its end, millions had perished, not only from battle, but also from famine and disease. Germany alone lost nearly 1/3 of its population. This war marked a turning point in how nations approached diplomacy. The Treaty of Westphalia, which ended the conflict, introduced the concept of state sovereignty, a principle still foundational to international relations today. The lesson here? Religious intolerance and political rivalry can spiral into unimaginable suffering, but compromise and dialogue offer a path forward. No discussion of devastating wars would be complete without mentioning World War I. Known as the Great War, it raged from 1914 to 1918, drawing in nations from every corner of the globe. Triggered by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the conflict quickly escalated into a horrific stalemate of trench warfare, chemical weapons, and unprecedented casualties. Over 16 million people died, and another 20 million were wounded. World War I shattered illusions of progress and civilization. It exposed the dark side of industrialization and nationalism. And yet, it also planted seeds for change. Women entered the workforce en masse, colonial subjects began questioning imperial rule, and new technologies emerged from the ashes. The war reminded us that blind patriotism and militarism lead to catastrophe, but it also showed us the resilience of the human spirit. Just 2 decades later, humanity faced its darkest hour, World War II. Lasting from 1939 to 1945, this global conflict claimed an estimated 70 to 85 million lives, more than any other war in history. The Holocaust alone saw 6 million Jews murdered, alongside countless others targeted for their ethnicity, religion, or beliefs. Cities were reduced to rubble, entire nations occupied, and nuclear weapons unleashed for the first time. But from this abyss arose profound transformations. The United Nations was founded to prevent future conflicts. human rights became a universal ideal, and science and technology advanced at an unprecedented pace. World War II taught us that evil must be confronted, but also that unity and determination can overcome even the gravest threats. Moving into the mid-20th century, we encounter the Vietnam War, a divisive and controversial conflict that spanned from 1955 to 1975. Fought between communist North Vietnam and US-backed South Vietnam, this war dragged on for 2 decades, claiming millions of lives, including over 58,000 American soldiers. What made Vietnam unique was its impact beyond the battlefield. Anti-war protests erupted worldwide, challenging governments and forcing societies to question the morality of war itself. The lesson: military might does not guarantee victory, and public opinion matters more than ever in shaping the outcomes of modern conflicts. As we reflect on these devastating wars, one truth becomes clear: humanity pays a heavy price for violence. Each conflict leaves behind grief, loss, and untold suffering. Yet, within those tragedies lie opportunities for growth, for learning, healing, and building a better future. We've learned that diplomacy trumps destruction, that diversity strengthens rather than divides, and that peace is worth fighting for, not with weapons, but with words and actions. Let these stories serve as reminders of where hatred and greed can lead, and inspire us to choose cooperation over conflict, empathy over enmity. For if history teaches us anything, it is this: the most powerful weapon we possess is not the sword, but the desire for peace.